how come there's so many Old Testaments, New Testaments, and in all of those, there's always a difference?
You're talking about English translations, right?
But it doesn't matter because the first Bible was written in Aramaic and there's no Aramaic
No,
Bibles.
the first Bible was not written in Aramaic. It was Hebrew for the Old Testament, only tiny portions in Aramaic, but vast majority of the Old Testament is in Hebrew.
Yeah, but
And the
there's
New
none
Testament is in
anymore.
Koine Greek. But we have still got manuscript copies of the Bible in Hebrew, Greek, and even the portions in Aramaic. We've
Yes,
still
but
got it in Aramaic today.
there's still so many different messages in the Bible
There
that are
actually isn't.
different to the Old
Can I ask
Testament.
you, have you read the whole Bible?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so what makes you think there's so many messages that are different to, you said, to the Old Testament?
Because with the Quran, you can date it back to when the first Quran was brought into earth, and there's not one comma, not one full stop. Nothing has changed with it.
That's not the case, and Muslim scholars are actually coming out saying that the standard narrative of saying the Quran's been perfectly preserved, that's actually not true.
Where have you seen that?
It's well documented on YouTube. Yasakadi coming out saying we should stop saying the Quran's been perfectly preserved because it hasn't been. And there's 26 different Qurans that are in the world today with different words, different letters, different words. It hasn't been perfectly preserved.
So how come every single person that has memorized the Quran says the exact same things?
Because you're using the 1924 Cairo edition, the standardized version that happened in the
But
early
there's no
1920s.
New Testament, no Old Testament in the Quran. It's one book.
I understand, but we see that Uthman, do you remember the Caliph Uthman, the third Caliph?
Yeah.
The third Caliph, in his day, he saw that there were many Qurans in his day, and he said, this is getting confusing. And so he decided to collect all the Quranic materials, all the different copies, and decided to pick one that he thought would be the one he wanted to standardize, and then he burnt all the other Qurans that disagreed with it. And so even in Uthman's time, the third Caliph's time, there were already many Qurans, and he's having to burn ones that were different. And so you can't say the Quran's been perfectly preserved down to the letter. It's just historically not true. It's what many people claim, it's not factually true.